What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about when we will see Gotham Knights next. Kind of go through the different options that we have of seeing this game, talk about the release date a little bit more, so all of that kind of stuff. I also have a quick ask for you guys, and I want to know what kind of videos you want to see from Gotham Knights. If you've been following the channel for any length of time, you know I like to cover this game quite often, obviously formerly Batman Gotham Knights or whatever I used to call it, but I normally covered it every 2 to 3 days. Once, before like the teaser week that was last week, I would cover this game every 2 to 3 days. I'm thinking I'm going to continue that. I'm not going to start doing, I'm not going to basically leave you guys in the dust. I'm also not going to cover this game every single day though for 6, 7, 8 months. That's just not going to happen. So definitely, I'm into doing whatever you guys want to see. If you guys want to see a specific video, definitely let me know in the comments below, and I'll absolutely do it. I've always tried to make this channel a channel that reflects what you guys want me to make. Okay, so let's talk about this game. Now, yesterday we talked about Suicide Squad. Same topic, Suicide Squad, when we will see that game. And I think that game was a lot easier to talk about than Gotham Knights in terms of predictions, in terms of talking about literally when we will see it, because Gotham Knights has, I think, more opportunities. Look, this game is not coming out in November. Okay, I think that's the obvious thing that we should all be very aware of, right? But we all know that the game is probably coming out February to March. Now, that is the 2-month window that I was saying ever since I had kind of said, okay, well, if it doesn't come out in November, which I never remember I said, I don't really think it's going to do that because of the stuff that went around the world. I think it was supposed to come out in November, but I think because of that, it got delayed probably 3 to 5 months, somewhere in that range, which would put it in the, I guess you could say, January to April maybe period. I don't think it comes out in January. I also hope it doesn't come out, later on, like in the May, June period. So I'm going to say somewhere in that February, March, somewhere in that little realm. And it's important to talk about that, by the way, because, well, we have to have our end goal. In order to talk about when we will see the game again, we have to figure out when the game actually is going to release, because with a lot of games, in fact, the majority of them, when they get announced, look, it's not going to get constant updates. I think that's kind of a thing that maybe sucks the most, especially for a community like ours where, we've been waiting for it for so long. And I think we all knew this was going to happen. I hope at least we knew, but, it's a community that's been brought together finally, right? Maybe, people don't like the game, people like the game, whatever, but we're all together in terms of okay, it's finally real. And what sucks is, again, it does what all games do, is when it gets announced, it goes dark. They always go dark. And the question is, when do they come back out into the light to talk about the game more, to show it off more? For a game like this, I think they have to still do quite a bit of things. They have to talk more about the world. They have to probably show us more villains. They have to show us 2 more characters, right? We only got to see gameplay of 2 characters, more in-depth gameplay, I guess, right? I need to see the other 2. I need to see Nightwing and Red Hood, same kind of scenario that, Batgirl and Robin were in. I need to see that, okay? I need to see, again, more villains. So there's other things they need to show us. Obviously, the release date is a big one, right? So the game absolutely needs to come out of the shadows again, okay? It absolutely needs to do that. Question is when? Well, again, it's harder to predict for a game like this because there's more opportunities, and we have to figure out how they want to do it. So we have Gamescom, and now that's only in 2 days away. I know people are saying, okay, well, could this be the time we get the game? Or, does the game come back out? Do we get to see it again just 6 days after we saw it the first time, or 5 days after we saw it the first time at Gamescom? I really don't think so. I truly, truly don't. I think that this is a game that we're going to see probably relatively soon. I think, honestly, sooner than a lot of people may think, but I do not think it's going to be at Gamescom. I know people were saying this. People were saying this Sunday night, and I kind of ran with it on Monday. A good point to make is next-gen things. I mean, literally, next-gen events, announcements, whatever. They all become a lot more interesting now because Gotham Knights can definitely go into that. So if there's another Xbox show, and by the way, we know that there probably will be a Sony and Microsoft event in September to re-show the PS5 Series X, to do the price, to do the release date, to do more games, to announce more, deals and partnerships and all this kind of stuff. So the question is, could Gotham, and by the way, I'm going to go through all of the opportunities, and then we'll kind of start to pick which ones I think it's going to happen. But, Gotham Knights could be there because it's going to be a next-gen game, also current-gen, but now anytime you talk about next-gen, Gotham Knights should absolutely be kind of lumped into the mind with that. So it definitely, that kind of opens up that opportunity. Next, we have really just its own, right? You could definitely do it on its own in October, November, whatever. And then you have the Game Awards. You have the Game Awards in December with Jeff Keighley. We know Warner Bros. Has always had that kind of partnership with him. We've been through this last year, right, with the Game Awards, but the Game Awards is obviously always an opportunity. Really, that kind of covers every single month that they could do. Here's the deal. Again, because I've seen people say, well, if the game comes out super late next year, I really don't think it comes out super late next year. I really think it comes out first half of next year. And again, what that means is I think we're going to see this game sooner than later. And I think, again, if the game was supposed to come out in November, honestly, if they announced this game in June, let's pretend we're in an alternate timeline, okay? A timeline of whatever you really want to happen. And E3 happened in June, and we got the game's announcement in June, and the game was supposed to release in November. I would have said that we probably wouldn't have seen the game until like September, okay? I think the game would have taken July and August off in terms of they wouldn't show it, they wouldn't talk about it, stuff like that. And then it would reemerge in September, and we would start over those next 2.5 months, we would start getting more and more things, okay? That's how I see it. Now, the question is, will they still do that? And a difficult part is Christmas is a big, just a big obstacle where, companies get a lot of time off. They get 2-3 weeks off sometimes. It depends on what kind of situation the company is in, when the game is releasing in general. But a lot of times that's a time where a lot of people, don't do some work, okay? And by the way, I'm not saying like, oh, is that going to delay the game? No, I'm saying that's time that you can't expect anything to be shown. Really, just like I don't think games will release, or like the game, like remember when people were saying the release date and people were throwing out December? I never thought December was a time, and that's because really, I'd say from like December 10th through December 15th, like somewhere in that range is a start date, and then go to like January 5th-ish. In that section, you get very, very little announcements, and you get 0 game releases, okay? That's just generally how it goes every single year. So you have to kind of eliminate that. Now, again, Game Awards doesn't count. Game Awards is separate. Game Awards is actually kind of like right before that, that it's like early December, right? The first week of December. So that's different. That's where you kind of get the last announcements of the year that you're currently in. That's when you get that out, and then you take a break. Everybody kind of takes a break. So that's kind of the situation we're in. Now, what could they do? Well, if the game comes out February or March, honestly, the way I've made myself just talk about this and the way I've even walked myself through it, I feel like we may have to wait till the Game Awards. I don't think it's a necessity. I personally want to see this game beforehand. It's just difficult because, again, you announce it, and normally games go dark. They go dark for quite a while. I know on Twitter I said October. I feel like maybe October. We'll have to see if Sony and Microsoft keep doing their announcements every single month. We were supposed to kind of get, monthly shows from both of them, really, leading into next gen, okay? So September, we're going to get one. Now, the thing that also kind of hurts, too, is Harry Potter. Now, again, I know that, people that are watching this may not also be into Harry Potter, but I do know there is some cross, viewership. The Harry Potter open world RPG, or the Wizarding, okay, because people don't like that I always call it Harry Potter because Harry Potter's not in it. Whatever. The Wizarding world, open world game, that game still needs to be announced, and that game is from Warner Bros. And the problem is that game is probably going to get announced before we see Gotham Knights again. Okay, so it's weird because, for Harry Potter, we've been focusing so much on Gotham Knights. Like I've been telling, the viewers there, like, okay, once DC Fandom is over, now we can really start focusing on Harry Potter. Now, funny enough, for Gotham Knights, it's the reverse. Now, I think us as a community needs to watch out for that game, because I think that game is going to get announced, and then after that, then we'll see more Gotham Knights. Okay, I really do think that's kind of the order. So if Harry Potter gets announced in September, I think October could be a month. And again, because October to December is not a lot of time. You know what I mean? If say Harry Potter gets announced in October or something, well, it's a month and a half, and then it's the Game Awards. So can we wait until the Game Awards to see Gotham Knights again? Another thing is, would Jeff Keighley even do something like that? We always, including myself, Jeff Keighley himself does it. We hype up his events. Everybody always hypes up his events, rightly so. And then when they happen, they're okay, but they're not like amazing. They're not like the most incredible things in the world. So we always, including myself, right? I always get myself overhyped for his events, and that's definitely a problem. But we could even say that, well, what if the game isn't there? You know what I mean? Well, then I think people start saying, well, the game maybe won't come out in the first couple months of 2021. So there's still a journey ahead. We've been talking about the release date. We've been talking about when the heck we were going to get the announcement for this game. We finally got it. We honestly can rest for a while now. I really do. I mean, like I said, I'm still make videos every couple days. I don't mean like as a content creator. creator. But I think, like, in our minds with this game, we know it's real. It's probably coming out within the next 10 or so months. Okay, I really do think that. I think within, like, before the end of June of 2021, I think we're going to get this game. Okay, I really do believe that. So, how you look at it, based off of that is how you look at it. But I think we can kind of find some kind of calm in our mind because of that. And I think that we're going to get this game again soon. I think that we'll see more gameplay. I think that they'll talk more about the features of this game, all that kind of stuff. I don't see them going through the end of 2020 with that not being talked about. You know what I mean? I think we're going to get something before the end of 2020. So that'll be my answer. I really don't think we're going to have to wait till next year to see more of this game. I think it's this year. I just don't think if it's at Gamescom, firstly, that makes this video very outdated and very, very wrong. And secondly, that would honestly be very, very surprising to me, because I just don't know if you'd announce something and then 5 days later show it again, unless you'd be showing like the exact same thing in case people miss DC Fan, but that doesn't really make sense, right? So I don't think it's at Gamescom. September seems too early as well to show more about it. October would be more likely, in my opinion, but at the same time, if the Harry Potter game isn't announced yet, I don't think we see more Gotham Knights until that happens. So then maybe in December then maybe October we get Harry Potter, and then December we get Gotham Knights, or maybe December we get both of them, right? So there's still definitely some variations that can happen over the next couple months, but definitely I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? When do you think we're going to see more of Gotham Knights? When do you think the game is going to release? All those things, let me know in the comments below. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. And once again, if you guys want to see specific videos on Gotham Knights, let me know. If you guys want to see me talk about the gameplay mechanics or the RPG stuff or the characters or more theories, stuff like that, be specific. I'll shout you out, and I'll definitely make a video on that topic. Okay, totally up to doing that. And again, if I'm going to be covering this game every 2 to 3 days for the next 6 months, I'm going to need topics. Okay, so I'm going to have to enlist the help of you guys as well. Okay, thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.